So recently there was a $50,000 Powerball ticket winner in Mississippi. $50,000. Even their Powerball tickets aren't even millions of dollars, just $50,000. At least some good news is happening in Mississippi. A lot of bad news. There's an ex-bus driver. He's going to get jail time for assaulting a disabled student. Assaulted the disabled student, gets fired. Now he's in jail. Another woman's going to get a 600% increase on her electric bill, and she's like, what the hell is going on here? And then there was a 2.1 magnitude earthquake detected in Boonville, Mississippi. So they got earthquakes, they got higher electric bills, they got bus drivers attacking disabled students. Now let's talk about some of the news, okay? So what's been big news that's been happening in Mississippi is they keep killing people left and right in prison. And so Donald Trump's Justice Department is actually investigating prison deaths in Mississippi. So that's his base, right? Mississippi, those conservative whites and blacks, they're the ones that hold on to the, dreams of yesteryear. So Donald Trump and Mississippi are basically married at the hip, and here he's going to investigate all these deaths. Mostly black men are getting killed in Mississippi prisons. Since the beginning of this year, more than 20 inmates have been killed, 25 if you want to include December. So in 3 to 4 months, you've had 20 to 25 prisoners who were killed in Mississippi prisons. Yo Gotti and Jay-Z are teaming up with Team Rock. They're paying for legal help for 150 inmates who are being treated like animals. It's 23 deaths. This is Yo Gotti quoted. It's 23 deaths. Why is there no state of emergency in Mississippi? And who provides the medical contracts? Who gets the food contracts? There's something we could do to resist against this. Now, they're stepping back Mississippi, even though there's a ton of poverty, ton of crime, lots of people getting shot. They're stepping back from regulating and outlawing kratom. Kratom, kratom, an herbal drug that can be used for pain relief. It's unregulated in most of the United States, but in some local governments in Mississippi are cracking down on kratom. Kratom is derived from a tree in Southeast Asia. Leaves can be crushed and smoked or eaten. So kratom is, making its ways in Mississippi. People get a hold of drugs no matter where it comes from. So I think kratom is like lower, less, anyways. The appeals court. Mississippi also gave us a fetal heartbeat abortion bill. 3-judge panel in the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed a lower court's ruling that the Mississippi law is unconstitutional. And of course, right, heartbeat is before pre-viability, so you can get the heartbeat, but you're not viable, and that's what Roe v. Wade is all about, viability. A heartbeat says you only got 6 weeks to go check, get that shit taken care of. So the appeals court has blocked the heartbeat bill of Mississippi. It's appeals, I guess it goes to Supreme Court now. 36 delegates in Mississippi to be got. Mississippi is one of the 6 states on March 10th that's going to have an election. You got Idaho, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington State. So expect things in good things in Washington State. Bernie Sanders has taken all his resources out of Mississippi, went to Michigan, so that sucks because Mississippi is one of the, poorest and crime-ridden states in the union, and they need Bernie Sanders, but apparently now Bernie's going to Michigan to try to get those voters because really Mississippi is going to vote for Joe Biden. It's obvious. Mississippi is going to vote for Joe Biden, and in the general election, Mississippi is going to vote for Donald Trump. These motherfuckers are just so fucking far backwards, so far right-wing. Even the black folks of the deep South Confederate states are conservative as hell. And it's ridiculous because there's no liberal, there's no opposition party in America, and here we're clinging on to Joe Biden. Joe Biden, is there any difference between Joe and Donald Trump? Any difference whatsoever? So, shit, yeah, the racists and the Joe Biden, so basically, okay, anyways. Idaho, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington. Those are the 6 states that Bernie must win. He must win those states. And then he has to win at least by 5% the next cluster of elections, or it's over. It's absolutely over. Joe Biden's running away with this thing. So there's 36 delegates to get in Mississippi. If Mississippi was smart, they would consider Bernie Sanders, maybe Tulsi Gabbard, but they wouldn't vote Joe Biden, in a million years. Bloomberg, Pete Klobuchar, Deval Patrick, Tom Steyer, these names are still on the ballot in Mississippi, so expect a lot of people to vote for people that's not even on the ballot. And then Donald is running against Rocky De La Fuente and Bill Weld. So we already know the old white conservatives of Mississippi are going to vote for Donald Trump, and the old conservative blacks in Mississippi are going to vote for Joe Biden. So that's why Bernie is focusing his efforts in Michigan. He canceled a speaking event in Mississippi, and he went up to Michigan. Last but not least, actually not the last thing, but I'll leave. Let's see, there's a Mississippi man was accused of killing 8 people, and he was convicted on all counts. So he was captured, arrested, and now he's convicted, so who knows what's going to happen to him. But he killed a bunch of people. Apparently he was at some party, a family party, and they started saying kids were his or something, I don't know. But then it's all loud out in the open. Deputy comes up, he shoots the deputy, shoots the people in the house, goes next door, kills a couple neighbors, kills 8 people. So that guy was convicted, whatever his name is. And there's a lot of storm damage that's happened in Mississippi. Trees are knocked down, houses are leveled, roads are sinking. So they got a lot of infrastructure problems too. Mississippi's got a lot of problems going on now. Here's something insane. I'm gonna, this held it for you till the very end. So first responders had found a 16-year-old Madison Harris with a gunshot in her hip, and she's going to die during surgery. This is in Rustwood Drive. So go to Rustwood Drive in Biloxi. So Rustwood Drive in Biloxi, Mississippi. You got Paul and Madison Harris and some other friend were in the back room. 2 young black men with guns pointed at Harris demands that Madison Harris opens the window or the door. They couldn't do it, so eventually, a boy with the gun is called Teflon. They push through the door in the carport. Teflon gives the gun to Yakisha Blackmon. Paul White tries to take the gun out of Yakisha Blackmon's hands, but the gun goes off in the fight, and the bullet strikes Madison Harris. So they both went for the gun. They went for the gun, and it goes off, and then the bullet strikes Madison Harris. So they could try to say that they had no intention whatsoever of killing Madison, but it happened. It was aggravated robbery with a firearm, and it was 5 individual young black teenagers. And the reason we know that, the reason why we have hard proof is because of the Ring doorbell app that the Biloxi residents had. So it showed every single one of them. All 5 of the suspects have been arrested, and now they're being charged. So 5 suspects came into the house. The Ring doorbell app takes a picture of every single one of them. Now some people say it was a botched marijuana robbery. So Madison Harris, she shot in her grandparents' Biloxi home February 24th, 2020. Not, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. 5 teens, 15 to 17 years of age, were charged in the capital murder of her death. There's a Paul was there, her dad was there, another friend were there, and then they all run out of the door after the 5 assailants after the shooting had happened. It's assumed that the murder was retaliation for calling the cops in the first place. Apparently, these 5 assailants, this Yakisha Blackmon, Willow Blackmon, Jarvis Jermaine Cook, Jasmine Joy Sade Kelly, the youngest, was apparently set up, the one who set up Madison Harris to be robbed by her sisters, and then Jaquez Devontae Porter. And then they tried to run away in a red sedan with front-end damage, so a crap shit car. This is a terrible operation, a terrible thing. Blackman sisters lived across the street. Considering their ages, none of them are eligible for the death penalty, but they could serve life in prison, and all of them are being charged as adults, or being held with a $1 million bail. So, yeah, in case of the deadbolts on the doors, they screwed in the windows. They already came in one time. They were friends, but then 2 weeks ago, they had robbed them, so they called the police and filled out a report. And, to get them back, well, we're going to, rob you of all your marijuana. And then they go in there and they wind up killing this Madison Harris. Now, people might say, well, Paul White, you know, is to blame. He tried to do something, you know, really, if you don't do anything, then you just allow the damn thing to happen. So he tried to do something for whatever reason, you know. Maybe maybe he saved more lives. Maybe they had no intention of shooting her whatsoever, but then when he grabs the gun, then it goes off. Now that's, you know, now they're on the hook. Now they had murdered a person. Madison Harris is killed, dead. 16-year-old, you know, beautiful woman, like beautiful girl, young adult. So for what? For what? I mean, this just seems like a crazy, senseless, insane. They're friends. They've been allowed to come over. Then all of a sudden, they just said, fuck these people. We're going to rob these people no matter what. And then now, look, Madison, you know, Harris is dead. When they go to arrest him, the Blackman sisters lived across the street, so they just were right there in their homes, right, that day. So, insanity. This is crazy. I mean, they're all going to cry and try to act like they're the nicest people in the world, but, you know, get those five together, and they'll say, hey, remember those people down the street that used to be nice to us and probably smoked us up and sold us, you know, marijuana on the cheap? Let's go rob them. Yeah, no, we're real gangsters. We're real gangsters. We're all bored. We're sitting around not doing shit. Let's go rob them. And now you got Madison Harris is dead, 16 years old. I mean, she didn't even have a life. Her life didn't even begin. And now it's over. And now it's over. So all this, so many things are happening in Mississippi. Mississippi needs a Bernie Sanders, but you don't have the young black people who would vote, who would like a Bernie Sanders. They're not coming out to vote. You're not getting any new turnout. The southern states are very conservative. South Carolina, Virginia. Look at all these southern states. The old black voters are very conservative, and they are not embracing a Bernie Sanders. A Bernie Sanders would have taken... So why did this happen? There's many reasons why this happened, right? The war on drugs. Marijuana is illegal, so they're making a ton of money, right? If they're selling marijuana right down the street, they're all pissed off. How come they get to sell, you know, marijuana, so let's ruin their shit. We're miserable, so there's crime, there's poverty, lack of opportunities. And, you know, marijuana's not legal. Legalize marijuana, then, you know, everybody can smoke a joint and chill the fuck out. But Teflon, you know, he's got to show how, you know, show his street credentials, right? He's, you know, look at Teflon. Teflon's got a gun. Teflon's going around terrorizing the neighborhood. Well, you know, good thing they got arrested, and hopefully the, you know, the judicial system, you know, convicts them, and hopefully they get some punishment for what they did, because Madison, this whole thing, Madison Harris didn't deserve to die. There was some comment, I think her dad said that she's innocent. The barbarians that had killed her were, you know, the exact opposite of who she was, just sweet, kind, nice, always willing to, you know, smile at people and give, you know, be nice to people, make their days by just being nice to them. Basically, he's just saying they're the opposite, right? She was just a calm, quiet, peaceful, non-violent person, and then they got robbed by, you know, that's insane. That would be so crazy. Just be sitting in your house, all of a sudden, 5 people come in your house saying, give me your marijuana, and then you go for the gun, and now, you know, this person's dead. Dead and gone, just like that, in a moment, you know, what a dumb fucking thing. The whole thing was so fucking stupid. She died because they had marijuana and you didn't. Well, now you'll never have marijuana for the rest of your life. So that split-second decision, dumb split-second decision. But there's a lot of things with the criminal justice system, too. So you got, you know, the police and the authorities. I think it might have been Mississippi or Alabama, where they were just planting guns and drugs on all these black folks and put them in prison. So you got criminal justice, you know, issues, poverty issues, you got crime issues, you got, you know, issues all over the place. And the war on drugs and legalizing marijuana would have taken care of this. I think poverty, I think education, opportunities, jobs. I mean, those people that robbed them and shot her, I mean, they said, let's go there with a gun, and they were set up by the youngest. So this Jasmine Joy Sade Kelly, she's 15. Hey, I'm just as young as you. She gets in there, and then it's like, hey, now she's in there, right? Now we got one on the inside. And they fucked her over. So this is an insane story, and it's unfortunate. This shit happens, you know, kind of in America way too frequently. Just crazy, dumb shit, dumb behavior like this just happens. And if you're living in that neighborhood, how are you supposed to combat against this? What the fuck can you do? Anyways, so Mississippi, y'all needed Bernie Sanders, but because your electoral system is fucked, You're not championing your progressive heroes, your progressive, superheroes aren't being elevated to a position to where they could actually help you. You have to organize yourselves. You know that nobody's out here for you, so it's up to you to get up out of your situation, and the deck is stacked against you. This society is not made for working class people. It's made for the wealthy. So you have to organize and somehow, stand on the shoulders of others, and maybe you can reach the mountaintop or something. I don't know. But there you go. That's some Mississippi news. Mississippi's got a lot of problems, a lot of issues, climate change, a lot of shit's going on. A lot of shit's happening. At least that one guy got $50,000. So that helps, right? At least one person in Mississippi got a $50,000 check. Hopefully they could, turn that around and make good use of it. So, yeah, that's Mississippi. Peace.